There are ideas about your own mind that you were taught in school, that are printed in teacher training manuals, that get repeated in corporate workshops, and that are simply not true, not exaggerated, not outdated, just wrong and still everywhere. Here's the one you've definitely heard. We only use 10% of our brains. Imagine unlocking the rest. Here's the trail. A 1929 almanac printed it. Then in 1936, a writer put it in the foreword of one of the best selling books of all time and credited it to a famous psychologist who never said it. Brain scans show every region active. Your brain is 2% of your body weight and burns a fifth of your energy. Evolution does not pay that bill for something you're barely using. Are you a left brain person, logical and analytical, or right brained, creative, and free? In 2013, researchers scanned over 1,000 brains, broke each one into 7,000 regions, and went looking for anyone who ran mainly on one side. They found nobody, not one person. The two halves do divide up certain jobs, that part is real. But nobody is running on half a brain. Now, the big one, because this one is in millions of classrooms, learning styles. The idea that you're a visual learner or an auditory one, and you learn best when teaching matches your type. In 2008, psychologists went looking for the evidence. They found a mountain of writing about it, and almost no studies built well enough to actually test it. The few that were contradicted it. Their conclusion was blunt. There is no adequate evidence base for teaching two learning styles. It is still right now in schools everywhere. You've heard that 93% of communication is body language. It's in every presentation course on the planet. Here's the actual study it comes from. A woman says one single word in three different tones, and people look at three photos of her face. That's it. The researcher was measuring what happens when your words and your face disagree. He has said publicly that he cringes when people quote his number, and that you cannot stretch it to communication in general. Praise a child's self esteem, and their grades go up. Whole school programs were built on that sentence. In 2003, researchers reviewed the evidence properly. Self esteem and school performance are linked, yes. But the cause runs the other way, or through something else. Ability and background drive both. Telling a struggling child they're wonderful is a kind thing to do. It just isn't the engine we said it was. Do you see what keeps happening? Every one of these fell true. That's the trap. A good myth about the mind doesn't feel like a claim you should check. It feels like something you already knew. It slots in next to your own experience. And your own experience feels like proof. And there's a reason those particular myths survive. They're flattering, or they're useful, or they're both. 10% of your brain means untapped potential is sitting right there. Learning styles means a struggling kid just needs the right format, not harder work. They survive because we want them to. Here's one more, and it's about the myths themselves. You know how you learn a new word and suddenly it's everywhere? That has a dramatic name, the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. Where did the name come from? Amon wrote a letter to a newspaper in 1994 saying he kept noticing a phrase after hearing it once. That's the entire origin. The thing isn't appearing more often. Your brain just started flagging it. Which is exactly what's about to happen to you. Now that you've heard these five, you are going to notice them in a training slide, in a parenting article, in something a smart person says with total confidence at dinner, and you'll have a choice in that moment. You can let the furniture sit there because everyone else believes it too. Or you can be the one quiet person who knows the floor is painted on. The uncomfortable truth isn't that these myths exist, it's how comfortable they were, sitting in your head, feeling exactly like knowledge.